Hello there, my fellow Dungeoneers. Welcome to Digital Fortress. We're doing another stream here today where we will be working on the Twitch Trivia bot. I cannot speak right now. Twitch Trivia bot. Thank you so much for joining us today. You know, the other day I was listening to a stream of myself. You know, you're supposed to be watching back your streams, and I was kind of listening to it in the background, and it got to the point where I was kind of answering myself without realizing that I was answering myself. I was answering my own streams, which is pretty funny if you think about it. I was telling myself, well, no, you shouldn't be doing it that way. You should be doing it this way. Didn't even realize I was talking to myself, my former self. So guys, today we are going to jump into designing a, we're getting a design going for this, this overlay. I don't want to just throw something together, so I sat down and came up with a couple of different ideas, which you won't be able to see them, but I usually like to start out by sketching my ideas out. I think it just usually works the best for me. So you can kind of see the top one there was my first idea of the placement of where we should be putting it. And then that second one there, which try to get lined up just right. That was the one that I ended up going with. This one was just, I started to do another idea, but I decided that I'm just going to stick with this one. So you can see my chat sits down there at the bottom. Hey, what's up? What's up, JR Gaming? Thanks for joining us today. I'm just explaining the process that I go through for designing. So yeah, so I usually start out sketching stuff out, and then I go from there. So yeah, is that music too loud, by the way? Apologize if it is. Turn it down a little bit. Actually, I need to turn it down for myself because it was a little bit loud for myself as well. There we go. That's a little better. Might be a little too quiet. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not, but yeah. So so based on those designs that I have drawn out here, I'm going to start designing something here in Adobe XD. I use Adobe XD for work. I don't actually do a whole lot of designing myself, but I did have a I did complete a degree, an associate's degree in visual communication, so I am trained for this, believe it or not. All right, so I guess what we're going to start out here with, guys, unless anybody has any questions. Any questions at all? And as you guys can probably see in my title there, I am open to I'm open to practicing my designing side a little bit. So if anybody has any questions about, like, you know, if they are trying to design their own logo, or you know, if you know they need somebody to design a logo for them for Twitch, for their streams, or for, you know, whatever, I do need to get a little bit of practice in, so I am open to collaborating there. So feel free to reach out and chat me. All right, so what we're going to start here with is we'll just go ahead and start with a basic box. And we're going to throw, we'll just throw a darker-ish color in there just to kind of simulate the darkness of a stream as it's going along. The next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually block out another box right here, and we're actually going to make it a square. And this denotes my my face, as you can see, which is that same position. Just put a line there. Now we'll go ahead and copy it here and rotate it. Let's see if I can remember how to rotate in here. I think that's it. Maybe not. Here we go. Let's try this. Oops, wrong thing. Nope. Think. There we go. All right, so we'll just pretend like that is my face. Sometimes I take a little more effort. You know what? Let's just go ahead and do that. I want to get to the meat of what we're doing, but it doesn't hurt to make a design look pretty good. All right, so we'll just do it based on blocks here. Let's see if I can remember these commands properly. Okay. Just gonna do this here. And we'll just pull it down. So again, this is just to kind of simulate. We'll just do that. Okay, so there is a person. Hey, what's up, Evan? Evan8895, thanks for joining us today here. Welcome to the Digital Fortress. The Digital Fortress. All right. And just gonna bump that down just a little bit so it's kind of... Oh, you know what? I bet these have a... That's fine. Okay, so again, today we are working on a design for this, where we're gonna place this and how it's gonna look like. So the next thing that we've got here, and I'm just trying to block out elements that we have already, is we've got chat, which is this right here. I know there's faster ways to do this, people. I understand. There's faster ways to extend out a, a component, but I don't really care. I'm not going very far with this here. Let's go ahead and throw that in there. Pull it over. Okay, so that looks about right, right? We've got our chat, which I want to bring the chat over, but, it may end up being, it may end up taking this whole section here, which is why I'm leaving this bottom section blank here. All right, so continuing on here, we've got a status bar for our follower goal up at the top up here. So it looks like this, and you guys can basically follow along with what I'm doing here. I'm literally throwing these things as you can see them on my screen, on my stream right now. So this is a follower, follower goal right here. I'm not going to block out any of that content. So now we have a general idea of how much space we have to work with here. So let's go ahead and I'm thinking I don't want it to take up any more space than what the size of this is. So if we just kind of draw an imaginary line right here and just kind of plop it in right here, something like that. And let's go ahead and select these two. Select this one as the key object, and then we're going to center, center this one maybe? No. I think maybe you have to, nope. Maybe you have to select that one first. I can't remember. Did that one first, then that one? No, maybe it's this one first. Did that do it? Did that do it? It did not. You know what? Let's just group these. And just because it's going to throw me off if I don't center these, let's go ahead and center that. You know what? Actually, I think I know why it's doing that. Maybe I don't. There should be an option here. Normally, I'm used to doing a lot of this stuff in, or I used to do it in Illustrator until XD came out a couple years ago, until it started getting popular and gaining traction. So that's good enough. We'll just leave it there. Okay. So this is going to be the higher design, the what's it called? High fidelity version, the high fidelity part of this. So you can pretty much ignore the rest of this screen. That's just there so we can get a sense of the feel of the size. So let's go ahead and see what's going on here. Let's see. I think what I can do is I can draw a triangle to kind of cut this. That's not, I don't think that's right. Maybe it's just doing that. No, you know what? Let's just draw a path. And I wish it would snap, but it is not snapping. So let's just go up here, zoom in here. We're gonna make this as high fidelity as possible, but we'll see. It's obviously, you can even tell right there that's not even exactly straight, but I guess we could technically go in and make it straight. Let's see. Nah, we'll just that's good enough. All right, so if I take this box and I turn it, let's see. Let's fill it with a darker color. All right. And how are we doing in the chat here, guys? How's everything going? You downloaded Sea of Thieves? Oh, yes. It's a good game. We need to play that sometime. It's good stuff. And guys, if you hadn't noticed already, you probably hadn't, but I do have another social media link on my About page, which is for TikTok. I recently started a TikTok. I only have one video up right now, but feel free to go check that out. It didn't go viral or anything, but It's a start. It's a start. Yeah, pretty much. Rubber banding? What do you mean rubber banding? I take it rubber banding is it's like skipping forward and backward while running. Oh, yeah, that sounds like well, it just depends. So here's what you need to do. You're talking about Sea of Thieves. You need to go into your settings, it's either your video or your graphic settings, and somewhere at the bottom of one of those settings, there is two check boxes. You can tick on your FPS counter and it shows up at the top left, and you can tick on your latency counter, which is also at the top just below FPS. So turn both of those on and then kind of run around. Oh, so you don't think you're dropping frames? Then it's probably an internet issue. But yeah, that should be able to tell you right away. You can look up like what is good latency. Obviously, good frames is anything 60 frames and above. If you can't get 60 frames, then try to cap it at 30 and try to go that route. But if you do 30, then it gets kind of a little janky because it makes it just a little bit choppy. But at least it won't be rubber banding anymore. Yeah, definitely check the ping. That might be what's going on. All right. You get a constant 102. Wow. Nice. Yeah. Okay. So it's definitely got to be latency. Yeah. Definitely check your network and see if that's. All right. So what I was kind of thinking here is going with like a darker-ish blue here, something like this. I don't know. I'm just kind of testing colors out because I didn't actually get around to testing colors on my thing. I would like to stick with my colors. Hey, Good Kid 4. Hey, I missed your message there. How you doing? Thanks for dropping by. We're doing a little bit of design work, working on a trivia bot that I have. I probably showed it off to you earlier, but yeah, if you take a look over here, if I hit start trivia, I got this all to work. So it has a timer, counts down from 10 seconds, gives you 10 seconds to answer. The way it's going to work is you're going to do like a exclamation mark answer 1 in chat, and it won't reply saying Digital Fortress's answer is this. Like it'll log the answer if it was correct or not, and then it'll show the correct answer there. Yeah. So it'll show the correct answer here in a second. Boom. In which British city is the Royal Mile? Edinburgh. Berg. I don't know. With which instrument is Les Paul associated? I don't even know who Les Paul is. Or is it Les Paul? Probably guitar? Yeah, there we go. See? There we go. See, and so I don't have it hooked up yet to store who's answered what, but I will tally up the answers, and then at the end of the trivia round, we will show down, like we'll have something show up saying, who's in the lead and stuff. Scoreboards, I guess. Yeah, so that's kind of the plan. We don't have that part hooked up yet, but we at least have the trivia outputting here on the page once you hit start trivia, which this start trivia button will go away, and instead we will have a exclamation mark trivia, like so, something like this, and that'll start trivia. So yeah, that's pretty much how it's gonna go. Hey, thanks for stopping by, Good Kid 4. Yep, thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate you joining the stream today. And if you haven't already, go check out my TikTok. I know, I think you'd mentioned you don't do TikTok, but you can see it for free without having to do an account. I get counts for those views, and if you do watch it, I only have one video right now, but if you do watch it, it'll help the algorithm if you watch it twice without exiting out, because then it shows that you watched the entire video all the way through. But I mean, no pressure, you don't have to. Anyways. Yeah, so let's see. Yeah, so I'm thinking I want to stick with my colors, which let me go pull those colors up, guys. Where's the best place to do that? You know what? I'll just pull it up from a end comment and like. Yeah, that does help too. Let's see. Trying to find where I put that. Probably. And guys, let me know in the comments or in the chat if you think I should do this. I have been toying with the idea of doing some digital painting online. I know a lot of people do that kind of thing, but I've just kind of been toying with the idea. I kind of wanna further the idea of like the digital dungeon and whatnot, and digital fortress and digital dungeon, which go hand in hand. As you can tell, my you just watched the TikTok 5 times. Good. Um, but yeah, I don't know what I was saying, but yeah, that's great. That's fantastic. Thank you, Evan. Thank you for doing that. All right. So I'm gonna pull this up, and I don't know if you guys will be able to see it, but let's see if I can. Let's see if I can. You know what? Here's what we're gonna do, guys. Just so you guys can see this a little easier, we're gonna take this and we're gonna drop it into assets. We're gonna copy the file, copy, and it's not letting me paste. I guess if I just drag it over, make a copy of it over here. All right, so this is my logo, guys. Rewatching, shares, likes, comments, get them points, so it will throw back to the database. Okay, fair enough. You know what, I'm realizing just now that I don't have Firefox open, so let me open that up real fast, guys, and I will get listening to your chats. Maybe I should use Edge instead. Yeah, I'm thinking I need to use Edge. Something's been going on weird with Firefox recently. All right. Okay. There we go. Then I can hear your chats there, guys. Sorry about that. All right. Okay. So let's see. Back over here, we're gonna grab the color here. And I'm gonna use my internal computer's color picker to grab that color. And we'll pick the lightest color, which I believe is... Actually, we're gonna pick the darkest color. Maybe not the darkest color, we'll pick this color. Chat, get hype. On the hype train there. I appreciate that, guys. All right. So you guys are gonna have to bear with me here as I try to remember where we are. Okay. So I think if I change this color to this, and then I also probably want this to be something a little darker than that. Maybe something like this, guys. And what I'm thinking here, guys, is, and we'll get rid of the border and the border on this one as well. So there we go. So we've got something like this, which these colors are a little bit clashing, but let's see what the text over top of it looks like. So down here at the bottom, let's add another box. And this one is actually going to be, I'm thinking, let's make it transparent maybe. But it does need to have a border. Well, because what I'm thinking is down here we have the timer. Let me just actually put, maybe we don't even do a box. Maybe we just put the, like 7 07 maybe. No. trying to think of the best format. Okay, so maybe something like this. And then if we center that up in the box. Okay. I don't remember how to. There we go. So there's that, and then let's also select this box. We will center it. There we go. Okay. And then you know what? Let's just go ahead and get rid of this box. I don't like that. I can already tell I don't like it. Let's change the color to white. And make it slightly bigger in font size. Yeah, let's do that. Let's select this again. Center it up. Oops. I'm thinking that's not going to work. We'll just do that. All right. I'm not really liking the idea of having this say seconds left. So maybe what I'm going to do instead, guys, is we'll take this, we'll literally center that up and make it bigger. I really want that to be, I want that to be very visible, the number down here. So let's see. First of all, it looks like we have an extra space in there, so let's go ahead and get rid of that. And then let's also bump the size up even more. Let's bump it up to, let's go 70, yeah. And I'm also going to change this to Futura Point because that's just one of my favorite fonts ever. All right, so that's pretty good. And let's go ahead and center that back up again. Turkey dinner. Wait, that's a head on a platter. Hey, Cosmic Doze TTV. Thanks for joining. Thank you for the follow. How you doing today? How's everything going? Just working on a little bit of a design right now to make this Twitch trivia bot go here. Yeah, shout out to Cosmic. Thank you so much. Thank you for the follow. I really appreciate it. And you know what? I'm still doing this. I don't have it in the title. I am still doing the challenge. For every follow, I eat a warhead. It is high time I ate a warhead. So we are going to go with my 2-year-old son put fuzzy hairball in my jar of warheads that I have here. So that is fantastic. No, no JR Gaming. I am not eating that. I will not eat it. I refuse. All right, guys. Today the lucky flavor is black cherry. Black cherry. So I am working it's using Nuxt.js as the front end framework for it, coupled with TMI.js, which is just it's an abstracted layer on top of the Twitch API, I believe. I don't know if Twitch actually put out the TMI .js library or not, but I'm not sure who manages that, but I'm using that, and then Nuxt.js, obviously. Eventually, I'm going to work in Firebase. I'm going to for account creation as well as authentication, and probably for storing, like who wins the trivia and stuff like that. But yeah, that's the general idea right now. And you can actually check it out over here real fast. This is just a basic trivia. I might actually have the no, not C++, JavaScript, HTML, CSS. It's Vue. Yeah, so I do know a bit of Python, which everybody knows Python. I'm mostly a web developer, and I used to specialize in front end, but now I'm a full stack web developer. So I mean that that comes everything that comes with the territory there of anything from PHP and Laravel and all those good stuff, those good backend server frameworks to to Node.js for backend and stuff, all the way up to just about any front end framework that involves JS. I'm still working my way through React right now, but yeah. And then the only other one that I know besides Python, that's not strictly a web technology, or web language is C Sharp. I know a little bit about C Sharp, and that's mainly because I've worked in Unity. And you know, as we all know, Unity has its own flavor of C Sharp. So yeah, so that's it. What about you? What kind of what programming languages do you know, if any? And I still have to eat this warhead here. No, it is not C++, Evan. And you know what, guys? I'm gonna go ahead and eat this warhead here while I'm waiting for you to respond there. So here we go, guys. Here we go. Warhead number 1 of the night. Oh, look at that hair on it. Oh, that's disgusting. All right, sorry about that. No, I'm not doing 3 warheads. No, guys, I made a mistake last time. No, guys, my mouth was torn up for like 3 days after I ate those warheads. I'm not doing it. You guys are lucky to see me even eat 1 warhead for a follow. So, yeah, it really depends. So are you new to the programming scene then? Is that what I'm hearing? Gotcha. No problem. Yeah, no, I mean, and you always got to start somewhere. So, I myself am fairly new to the game development scene as well. But it really depends on how you want to go about it. Honestly, there really is no wrong way to go about it. Let me take that back. The wrong way would be to not do it. I mean, if it's something that you want to do, the wrong way is to not do it and not try. Yeah, so Python is a good language to start with, because it's, man, this warhead is very sour. I apologize. No, Python's really good to start with. I mean, I'm sure you know. Like, yeah. It's very easy to start with, but if you really want to go with some, it just depends on what you want to build. What do you want to build? Like, what are you planning on building? Or what do you want to start with, I guess? If you want to go with something 2D, like a 2D platformer or something like that, I mean, I've used Unity for that. I started out with Unity for that, but I've also heard the Godot or Godot, or I don't know how to say, I don't know how to pronounce it. I know there's an actress named Gal Gadot, and it's spelled the same, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, Godot. I've heard that's really good. I've seen a lot of other developers. Yeah, Godot. That is what I'm talking about. I've heard a lot of other developers use that. And it looks fairly simple, but the problem with it is that it is I believe it's, let's see, it's its own specialized language, I believe, isn't it? Yeah, it's GD script. Yeah, so GD script, which I don't really know how all that translates, but I believe that's just an abstraction of JavaScript, isn't it? Maybe it's more like Python. Okay, so it's like Python. Yeah, it's very close to Python is what I'm seeing. Yeah. I don't really know much about Godot. I've heard it's really good, but so here's something else. So again, what kind of game are you wanting to build? Is it like a 2D platformer? Are you wanting to do a 3D game? Are you wanting to do like a top-down game? Are you wanting to do like a simulated board game? I mean, there's all kinds of different things, but if you have like one project in mind that you want to start with, I mean, obviously then that's where you start. Probably 3D games. And you're probably not going to want to do something like Godot because it specializes in 2D. Now, it does have 3D, I'm pretty sure. Or at least I know the new updates, it does some 3D stuff. But you probably want to go with more of a powerhouse engine like Unity or Unreal. I prefer Unity, but that really just comes down to a preference. Unreal, I believe, uses C++, while Unity uses either C# or JavaScript. I personally have a liking to Unity just because that's C# to me was a lot easier to learn, but that was because I was coming from JavaScript. So it just, I mean, honestly, it just really depends. But I will say, if you haven't already seen this guy, there is a fantastic game developer, and his name is Thomas Brush. Thomas Brush. And if you haven't already, go look him up. He's mainly on YouTube. He's somebody that I follow all the time. And he recently switched from 2D games, and he's actually an indie developer, meaning he's released like 2 or 3 games now on Steam. And he recently switched from 2D to 3D. And he's doing a fantastic job at learning 3D, but more importantly for your sake, and he's specifically in Unity, so if you decide not to go with Unity, I'm sure you can still learn stuff from this. But he goes through all the different steps, such as 3D modeling. I don't know if that's something that you want to do, or if you want to hire somebody to do it, or you have a buddy of yours to do that with. He goes through, like, different asset creations, animations for 3D, scripting for 3D. He goes through user interface for 3D. I mean, he goes through the works, level creation and all that stuff. So yeah, I mean, that's definitely a good place to start, is to find some good role models to follow there. I can't say that I've ever done any 3D stuff. I mean, I've messed around with Unity's 3D engine, but yeah. But yeah, that guy's name was Thomas Brush. I'll type it out in the chat here so you can see. But yeah. What's up, JR Gaming? What you got for me? Yeah, no problem, dude. Okay, hey, thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Feel free to drop by anytime. Even if you just want to lurk, that's fine as well. This is just a fun environment that we have here. So, twitchtracking.com. Yeah, thanks for not posting that link there. Twitchtracking.com. I don't know. Is this a hacking site? Is this like a site that's gonna take over my machine? Okay, yeah, because it is definitely not a secure site. Okay, cool. Well, it's good to have you along there, Cosmic. I really appreciate you dropping by, and thanks for the follow. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, I can't even actually. My browser is blocking it. Yeah, I'll have to check it out later there. Yeah, no, I'll definitely check it out later. You can message it to me if you want or whatever, or message me what's cool about it. But yeah. Okay, so, and guys, feel free to call out suggestions or whatever you want to do. In terms of, and I apologize, I'm going to switch back to here for a sec. Oops. That's not what I wanted. Let's see. All right. Yeah, feel free to call out suggestions on design wise if you guys think I should do something different here. And I'll explain the reason why I'm planning on leaving this up here right above me. So it's not going to be here permanently. It's only going to show up once somebody, once a mod starts the trivia game. The reason I don't want to have it down here is because, well, there's a couple different things that I probably will end up adding down here somewhere, but not to mention the chat is probably more like this, which takes up most of that space. Excuse me, takes up most of that space there. So yeah, let's jump back in here. We're counting down the seconds, so I might want to put something like, going here real fast. Time left. Let's bump down the size of that, because it doesn't really need to be red, but it is something that is there. Something like this maybe. And then, this can count from, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, 0. So yeah, so we've got that. That looks pretty good. I do like that. Because then this is going to change to say time left until or next question in 7 seconds or whatever. That's going to change to say that basically. So all right, we'll leave it like that, something like that. Looks pretty good. And honestly, people don't really need to see that once they see it the first time, because they'll get the general idea. So it can be a little bit smaller there. Kind of feels like yeah, whatever. All right, so moving on here, guys. So we got the time left down there, and then above that we have the answers. And for now, we're just gonna block in. This is answer 1, answer 2, answer 3, answer 4. There we go. So we've got 4 answers here, and they're going to be multiple choice. We'll put that there. I want to leave plenty of room for the question, because I don't know how long these questions are all going to be. They could be, 100 words. They could be 15 words for all I know. So I do want to leave plenty of room, and we will just block this out here. Let's go ahead and fix that for the questions. All right. And then, let's pull that down. I think, you know what, now that I'm thinking about it, guys, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm gonna write this down. I think I need to have, so one of the biggest things about UI UX design is that you want to make sure that you are absolutely clear to your users about what you should be doing at any given moment. And when we're designing a user interface, something that the users are going to read and they're going to basically interact with, which as of right now, they're not actually interacting with this, but the very fact that they're viewing it and then they're expected to give an answer means that they are interacting with it. So yeah, no problem. Hey, thanks again for dropping by, Cosmic. Yeah, well, yeah, feel free to stick around as long as you want or whatever. Again, I apologize, we're not going through the actual coding right now, but we will be getting to that in just a little bit. Right now I'm just trying to chunk out the design here. So yeah, excuse me for a second. What we need to do here to make sure that our users, regardless of whether they're return users or they're brand new users, we want to make sure that they know what they're supposed to do. Whether that means, and that means instructions. So whether that means that this whole box gets made just a little bit bigger. Let's just kind of extend it there a little bit. And this gets brought down. And then all of this stuff, which, you know what, let's just go ahead and make these a grouping. Let's go ahead and make this a grouping. So let's select all of this. Let's move it down to there. So if that means that we put the answer or we put the instructions up here, and guys, we have one more thing we've got to do here, is we've got to add in the category, which is going to be something like this. All right. That's looking pretty good here. So maybe we need to put instructions up here. So I'm trying to think through this. What's the best way to give instructions? But I don't necessarily think the instructions need to be there the whole time, because people who are actually going to be answering are probably typically people who are either there at the beginning of the trivia game, because the trivia games only last 10 questions at 10 plus 7 seconds each. So 17 seconds times 10. Only 170 seconds, which amounts to, you know, about 3 minutes. That was terrible math, but it's just under 3 minutes. All right. Give or take some, because, you know, so what I'm thinking is we might put the instructions at the beginning. I don't know. What do you guys think? If we have it flash up saying, hey, a trivia game's about to start, here's what you're supposed to do. Read the question and then, type in exclamation mark answer and whatever number your answer is. It'll automatically track your score. Have fun, good luck, or something like that. And then like it'll give it, maybe 5 seconds of that, and then that'll slide away, and it'll say, it'll start with the first trivia game, or maybe it'll do a countdown timer of, trivia starting in boom, 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 go. And then it'll play the timer. It'll show the first question. It'll show the answers 1 through 4, and they can answer. I think that's what we need to do here. Yeah, I think that's what we're gonna do, guys. Unless anybody has anything to say otherwise about that. So what we'll do here is we will get rid of that, and we'll just start blocking in the text here to kind of give it a good idea. Let's do geography. And remember, this is only the category of this specific. This is the category of this specific question. All right, let's get rid of this. Let's punch in. You know what? Let's just actually go grab a question. I know this is not geography, but what the heck? Why not? Okay. Do this. Oh crap. I don't remember how to do this. How do I convert this back into a you know what? Let's delete that. Let's just do it again. But this time, we're gonna make it a box. Yeah, there we go. That's good. There we go. Much better. Okay. We're going to make this a lot smaller. So let's go ahead and take this down in size. Maybe not quite that much. We'll make it we want to make it 1 rem, which is 16 pixels for the sake of this. We will make it demi, and we will make it uppercase. And let's take the color, take it back a little bit. Something like, just so it's not as important, but it's still there. Yeah, something like that. Let's take the question, let's bump that up, maybe to 25. So that's probably close to 1.5? No, a little less than 1.5. 1.25, somewhere between 1.25 RMs and 1.5 RMs. All right, so that's looking pretty good. I'm liking it. This might make it a little bit hard to read if we keep it that big. So maybe we will want to make sure that we have enough space. So you know what we're actually going to do here, guys, is we're going to take this out. Take this over here. Although maybe we don't want to do that much space. Let's see, I'm thinking maybe this looks like it's probably about 3 REMs in. This is not at all precise, so I apologize, guys. Take that out. Yeah, okay, so that's pretty good. That's pretty good. All right, guys, we're coming along here. So maybe this doesn't need to be that tall. Let's bring this up. Oops. Let's take this up. Let's actually group this because I'm tired of having to select it. Okay. So something like that. And this can actually go up a little bit higher. Kind of like right there, 63. So it's like almost dead center. But so here's another thing, guys. Here's another thing about UI UX design. Let me check my phone here again. I apologize. Another thing about UI UX design, and this is full of UI UX design stuff. So, is the idea or the principle philosophy of grouping. Grouping draws a user's eye to keep the same. So content goes with like content. So if you want something to be association by proximity, I believe is what it's called. If you want something to be associated with something else, and this can go not just for web design, this can also go for game design. It can go for, just really about any kind of design, but association by proximity. So, for example, I have these questions here, or I have the answers here. If I keep them down here, what are they going to be associated with? Whatever's down here, because that's what it's closest to. If I have it in the dead center, which is 63, I believe, somewhere right here. If I have that in the dead center, what's that going to be associated with? Nothing. It's going to be associated on its own. It's not going to have any association. So what we want to do here, guys, is we want to make sure that like things are associated with like things. So this, those are pretty well associated. Let's just bump those up here. Just to keep the spacing kind of uniform, let's do that. That looks pretty good. Let's see. So maybe we want to put this right at about 50, which again, this is not going to be precise once I actually go and make this. So bear with me on that. But yeah, and you know what? This actually doesn't need to be so tall. So let's actually take this down a little bit. Take it down to about right there. So it's got to be about the even length. And same thing with this. Let's take it up just a little bit. All right, there we go, guys. Things are looking pretty good here. Their finger looking good. Here's what we'll do. We'll actually take this. We'll take this. We'll group it. We'll take this. We'll take this, and we will center it up. Boom. All right. And we're going to ungroup this now. So if I come in here, and actually we'll just delete that, I will make one. All right. We'll do Macbeth. I don't know what the actual answers were. Is that how you spell Macbeth? I mean, I know that's how you spell it, but do I need to capitalize the second? I don't remember. Doesn't matter. All right, so that's one. Maybe it is like that. Okay, that looks more right. See, even Adobe XD knew that. I probably should have known that. Guys, again, thanks for joining us today. Welcome to the Digital Fortress. We are working our way through some design here real fast before I dive right back into the code to actually make this design work. We have most of the underlying piping working for the trivia game. We're just making a design work with it so that, and I do realize that normally you do it the other way around. You have a design, then you develop it, but I did need to get the underlying principles of the code working before I had a better idea of what I wanted to. I apologize, my nose is so itchy right now. All right, let's see if I have any more of this chamomile tea. All right, so what are some other Shakespeare plays? We got Macbeth, we got Hamlet, we've got what else? Let's see, that was 15. You know what, let's do it 16 pixels just to keep it an even 16 pixels across. All right, so and then let's also take this one 16 pixels. Okay. Okay. What else we got? What else we got, guys? Help me out here. Oh, yeah. Okay, so, what are some other Shakespearean plays with characters? Like, what are the Romeo? I don't think Romeo talks a whole lot, but whatever. And then what else we got here? King Lear, I think. Is that's a Shakespeare play, right? It's been a while. Yeah, it's a tragedy written by. Okay, yeah, okay. This is good. This will work. Doesn't need to actually be accurate. Okay. So guys, looking at this from a distance, if you ever need to have, know if something actually works, you just kind of, and this works for any kind of artwork, any kind of design. Back your way out of it. Back way out of it. Take a look at it. That, excuse me, that overall looks pretty good. I'm not super happy with the distance between each of these, so you know what? We do need to leave it at 16, but that means we should probably make this 2 REM. So that is 32. So let's actually take this and we will drag it up. No, we won't do that. We'll drag these ones down. So there. Whoop. Select them all, do that. And let's select both of these. Let's group them. Actually, let's not. Let's do this. Let's left align. There we go. Okay, now 32 pixels. Actually, that was about right. Right on. Okay, that looks pretty good. I do like that. And we need to make sure, so some things we need to remember here, some things we need to think about is that potentially we may have answers that stretch beyond and have to wrap down. So hopefully that won't look too weird, but we do have plenty of space for that to work. Even if all 4 of them stretch to the next line, which I don't foresee them all doing that at any given time. We also have room for this to stretch down as well. So we have plenty of room, just in general. And then that would mean that this gets stretched down here. Something like that. And my guess is that this whole box is going to, well, the box will stretch with the content, but my guess is that box is not going to get too much bigger than what it is currently. But I think that's pretty good. I think that's pretty good, guys. I think we have something. Let's change this to, that's bothering me. Art and literature. Literature. Okay. You know what? For kicks and giggles. Boom. Give it a little pop of color. Change this as well. We want to draw their eyes. Actually, we don't really want to draw their eyes, but that's fine. I don't think that's, yeah, actually that does draw their eye. Let's see if we can set this. See, I'm trying to weigh between contrast versus accent color. So contrast against the background, the white against the dark background has the most contrast. Oh man, why can't I select that? There we go. But if we do something like this, that might give it, maybe each of these needs to be, I think this needs to go back to the color it was before. No, actually, I think this is fine. I think that's good. Because we do want to give them the idea of what the category is, even though it doesn't really matter that much, but still. This kind of makes it feel like the grouping is together. I think that feels pretty natural right there, guys. Yeah, I think we're going to stick with that, guys. And I think the contrast ratio is pretty good accessibility-wise, so that's fantastic. Okay, so we're going to go with that, guys. So there we go, guys. We have our design. So let's go ahead and build that out. Let me take a look here. Give me 1 second. All right, guys, we are back. I apologize about that. I had to grab a fresh water bottle. Okay. Guys, thanks again for sticking around. I really appreciate it. We're making some progress here, guys. We're making some progress. All right. Now that I'm done with my actual design here, I'm going to add that on. Rest in peace. Or notebook. All right. What is this? I don't want to see a Thunder client right now. Okay. What's going on over here? Let's go check this out. TMI middleware. Oh, okay. That's fine. All right. All right, so over here in trivia.view, what we're gonna do, you'll notice we have the trivia question. We have question number. Oh, that is something that I forgot in my design, guys. Let's go back over here. We need to mark which question. I completely forgot about that. Maybe up here at the top, we can say question number. Let's see. Here's what we'll do. We'll just expand that a little bit. Let's see. The size of that's actually pretty close to being accurate. Oh, I have a fantastic idea. Now this might be a little dangerous. What if we do something like this, guys? And I say this might be dangerous because anytime you make a user, you force a user to do something unusual, they might kind of shy away from it. But let's just see what happens here. I'm kind of thinking maybe we actually do something down here. Maybe we put like question number. Let's see. Let's just try this. Question 3. Let's take it. Let's turn it. Let's expand it. Okay. Now the problem here is that even if I made this like I'm thinking, make it like that. Let's see. Make it bigger. I think we can solve this problem with just right aligning it. I'm completely missing it for some reason. Where's the alignment? Oh, there it is. Oh, maybe center align. Nope. Okay. That is a little bit hard to read. Maybe if we don't do that, it makes it a lot easier. I like that. I really do like this, guys. But the problem here is that what happens if we have this? Is that easy enough to read? I would argue that it is. Let's do that. Let's actually come in here. Color pick. Let's go pick this color right here. Make sure it's all uniform. That looks pretty good. Let's try it. If it doesn't work, I can always just put it down here somewhere. Okay? So let's see. Let's go back to this. All right, let's jump in. We are on question whatever. That is an H2. That'll go on the side. Let's think through how we want to do this stuff. So this timer stuff right here probably should go, and let's actually let's call this just trivia box. And down here under trivia cards, which doesn't have anything, that's fine. So let's start out by styling it by removing some of the styles. And we don't really need this extra. This is going to make it a little bit difficult. Not really difficult, but there's no reason to have this in a separate. So what we'll do here is we'll just copy all of this out. No reason to have it in a separate component right now. Always move it back later. We got that. Let's see, show answer. Let's just copy this div out and change it here. I actually just did this recently with Angular, with an Angular project that I was working on. Let's see, up here under this, let's comment that out, and down here let's put this. Let's go ahead and format it. And guys, how are we doing today in the chat? How's everything going? Guys, we are one away from our follower goal, especially thanks to Cosmic Does TTV. Yeah, I do appreciate again that follow. Let's see. Actually gonna go look at this real fast here. Okay. Alrighty. So we're gonna put it in here somewhere. Did that. So this shouldn't be throwing any errors, except that, let's see, expect the selector li to come before. Okay, so we need to actually get rid of this no descending specificity over here in style int. Sometimes it gets a little too uppity. Let's see. We'll set that to null. Oh, actually, let's just do that. Okay, refresh. That should get rid of that. Let's just make sure. Okay, yeah, so we had an error here. Let's go ahead and rerun this. Okay, that. This is loading. We still might have an error because some of the stuff here might not be fully running properly. Or we might not get any errors, which is totally fine. Let's just double check it as we go. Okay, so we did get an error. Show answer is not defined. And show answer, what we were passing in for show answer is in between questions. So what we need to do, let's just change this to in between questions. We do that. What was the other one? Active question we were passing in as trivia. So let's say let's select all of that and just change this to active question. Okay, let's refresh this, hit start trivia, double check. Okay, that's all looking good, guys. So we were able to successfully, is it? You're talking about the Twitch tracker? This is huge. What does that mean? Are you talking about the Twitch tracker, or are you talking about my website? I wonder if it violates any legal restrictions that they've put on extensions and such. I'm gonna check it out real fast. Let's see. It's twitchtracker.com. Oh. Okay. It is a secure site. So let's see. Okay. Interesting. This doesn't really tell me anything more than I already know. Though, anything that I can normally see in my insights. Games to play? I'm not seeing that on here. Oh, you're talking... Okay, I see what you're saying. You're not talking about you specifically. You're talking about just go to the games to stream. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, well, that's definitely interesting. The ratio. Which the ratio is, I'm assuming, 564. I don't know what that means. I don't know what these all mean. Definitely interesting. Yeah, we'll have to talk more about this. I was actually just playing Mario Kart 8 with my daughter a little bit ago. Huh. Interesting. Interesting. I mean, I guess this doesn't really help me all that much, but I wonder if I can search for whatever. Categories. Wonder what the ratio on this is. Where's the ratio on there? Doesn't really say. I don't know how to look up the ratio on but yeah, cool. Yeah, I'll have to look more at that later. Appreciate you sharing that. Yeah, I think it definitely would be blown if, well, I think I probably will have to dig into it a little bit more. That is pretty cool though, I will say. All right. Back to the task on hand here. Let's see. Yeah, again, thanks for sharing that, JR Gaming. Appreciate it. Let's see. So, guys, we successfully moved our code back over here, and one thing that I really don't like the way it formats here, I know I've mentioned this 100 times, and if I've mentioned it 100 times, yeah. So it's actually just popping the question out. Hey, we got another follower, and we met our follower goal. Master MNDO. Hey, thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate it. We actually, because of that, we hit our follower goal. And because we hit our follower goal, that brings the tally up to 4 warheads that I have to eat now. Because I told myself once I would hit the follower goal, and I know it's not in the title or anything, I would eat 3 warheads plus 1 for the follow. This is shaping up to be an interesting evening. All right. So our lucky flavors here, guys. And how's it going? How's it going there, Master? I really do appreciate. I know. You're the lucky winner. Yes, I know. Okay. I have this. I got it. I don't even know when I got this. I have this giant jar of warheads. And I got them for Christmas one year. It may have been this Christmas, may have been Christmas before. I don't remember. And I don't know how old this jar is, but I got them with the intention of watching my 2 kids eat them, because these were from a blast from the past. But I have been since eating them, one for every follow. And the other night I ate. No, I'm not eating hair, Evan. You can stop asking. Yeah, the other night I was doing a challenge where I ate 3 warheads per follow. I got 5 follows, so I ate, and this one's actually no good. I'm gonna trade it out. So I ate 15 warheads that night. Not a happy time for me. And I didn't actually have a water bottle on hand either, so that was kind of rough. So we've got 2 black cherries, and I will show you guys these in a second here as I get them open. 2 black cherries, 1 lemon. Some of these are mushed, so the gooey stuff is coming out. I don't know if I refuse to eat a hair. I will not do it. Do not force me on this issue, because unless you guys want to see me throw up, because I have a gag reflex for hair. All right, so guys, we have blue raspberry, 1 lemon, and 2 black cherry. So let's see. There's, you can see them right here. There's 2, and there's 2 more. And my green screen's blocking out 2 of them. So we've got 4. Here we go, guys. I hope I don't regret this. I really hope I don't regret this. Here we go. Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm. I already regret it. Mm. I have to wait 30 seconds. Mm. Mm-hmm. Oh man, it went up my nose again. I can't do it. Guys, this is the worst. And I have plans for that command. I just haven't finished setting it up yet. And part of it involves this trivia game. Oh man. Nope. Yeah. That should have been the same for me. I made the mistake last time sticking them in my cheek, which I'm doing right now. And then my cheek was like shredded the rest of for 3 days. So, All right, here we go. That water really helps. All right, what brings you to the stream today, Master? Thanks again for the follow. I do really appreciate it. That makes 2 follows in the night, and we are 5 warheads in, so fantastic. There we go. Sometimes it kind of bothers me, some of the auto formatting that we get here. I probably need to fix that in maybe in my ESLint or something. Man, I'm gonna get terrible cavities from this. I know it. So kind of as a touch base with you here, we are working our way through a trivia chatbot. Yeah, I'll have to check your channel out. Awesome. Just kind of briefly looking through your stuff here. Oh yeah, that's awesome. So what do you normally work in? I haven't really looked at your channel in depth, but um, I'm mostly a web developer myself. I dabble in a couple other things like game development and such, but um, I started out as a front end developer, and now I'm kind of a full stack web developer, um, and I love it. It's awesome. But I've just been working my way through learning some Nuxt.js, which is built on top of Vue.js. Okay, well that's awesome. Software cloud and DevOps boot camps. Yeah, boot camps are awesome. I gotta say, I I don't actually. So I have a certificate or certification, I guess, from community college here for web development. But and these warheads are just killing me right now. Um, but I actually got my associate's degree in visual communications. So what really helped me out with a lot of the with going the route of getting a career in web development were boot camps, which were fantastic. So yeah, thanks to guys like you. it's been uh, it's been quite a journey. But um, yeah, so I actually have a buddy who does a lot of DevOps, and he's actually focusing on like cloud, uh, like working on, I guess, cloud integrations and deploying to the cloud and stuff like that. But um, yeah, he's pretty good at it. Sometimes it's a little too heady for me, I think, because again, I'm mostly more of a I was more of a front end guy. Um, but yeah, no, that's awesome. What's your favorite part of running boot camps? Is it meeting new people and stuff, and getting to help them? I would imagine that's probably a really fun thing to. Oh, is it? Yeah, I don't know. The thing is, I feel like you have to kind of have an eye for it, and if you don't really have, not that you can't learn that, but if you don't really have an eye for it, then it makes it harder. Um, and especially if you have like a good understanding of how the front end connects to either middleware or to the back end, that kind of really helps. So, but yeah, no, I mean, I started out in front end, so that was kind of I didn't even actually intend to go into web development. I was mostly gonna go for graphic design because I was visual communications, and then I ended up switching into web design. I had the idea of web design, and I really liked that. And then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try a web development class because I need to learn how to code to have a better idea of how this is supposed to work. And then once that happened, it was like not never looked back. I love programming, love coding. It's awesome. Hold on a second, guys. I'm gonna. Yeah, no, no kidding, right? I can only imagine. Like that's something I've actually considered. I really like I love teaching. I love not even teaching. I love working with people and showing them something new and seeing the novelty that they get from it. It's one of my favorite things about my job right now, which my position, I recently was promoted to a team leader, a senior developer team leader at my company, and it is one of the most fulfilling things that I have done. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's been yeah. And honestly, I mean, we all know this. You know this. You probably know this better than I do. You've probably been doing this longer than I have. I've only been doing it for 4 or 5 years now. But you don't need a degree for this kind of thing. You don't really need a degree for, you know, yeah. So that is, yeah, that's fantastic. Way to go, man. My hats off to you. I always respect those people who are, out to help other people by sharing what they love and sharing, their journey and sharing what they can learn. And it's quite something. So that is awesome. My hat's off to you, dude. Still working my way through these warheads here. If I end up spitting a warhead out, I apologize, because guys, I'm gonna actually have to take a break for 1 second. I need to help my daughter with something real fast, so I will be back momentarily. All right, sorry about that, guys. We are back. Hey, Aslam Doctor, sorry about that. Sorry I missed you there. You can probably see I'm sucking on some more warheads here, working my way through a couple new follows that I got. All right, well, I'll kind of show you the progress we've made here. Once you hit start trivia, we've got, let's see, got a couple bugs that I need to work out. So there's a couple small kinks in it, but once you hit start trivia, it starts a new trivia game. Shows you the question, what question number it is, what the category is, shows you the question, shows you the answers that are multiple choice answers. And it is, oh, I forgot to, let's see. One thing I was in the middle of working on was converting it from a component back into the main, what's it called? The main trivia page. And this, again, for those of you who don't understand what's going on here, just by way of explanation, I'm planning on using this trivia bot as an overlay, and I'll kind of show you the XD comp that I have for it. It's gonna kind of sit, so this represents a stream. Oh yeah, you're building with React like a quiz game. Yeah, I kind of saw something like that. Yeah, no, that's fantastic. I mean, that's great to be able to learn, a new language, React, if I remember correctly. I saw some of that, what you were doing there. That's fantastic, dude. Keep it up, man. It's really coming along, looking great. So, congratulations on it. But yeah, so this represents my stream here. We've got, me, which I don't really look that blocky, but and then we've got our chat here. We've got, just the basic elements of what we have. So this trivia game is gonna reside right here. Obviously, it's gonna not exist until you start the trivia game. So once a mod starts the trivia game will pop over from the side, kind of right above me, and it'll come up looking just like this. It'll work its way, tell you how much time is left on that question, and then it's supposed to highlight the answer over here. But I was just in the process of converting the component that I had all that stuff in a component over here, and I was converting it over to back to the main page, and I hadn't quite gotten the correct answers in yet. So let's see. I think what's happening here is that, let's see, correct answer equals choice. So what this should be doing here, let's go ahead and inspect it real fast. Answer should be that one. So maybe I don't have the correct, let's see, visible answer. Maybe the class isn't getting put on there, visible answer. Yeah, okay, so that class was definitely there. So if we have the class visible answer should have been turning green. So let's see. Let's check it. Check it out. So this is the answer. It should have a color green on it. Maybe there's something that has to do with the color is not getting overwritten properly, or the color's not showing properly. For I do need to chase this bug down because this is also part of the styling here. So let's see. So this is the answer. For some reason, it's not putting the color on. What's going on there? Let me save this. Make sure that that's running. You know what? Just because we'll just refresh this. It shouldn't. Well, I don't think it shouldn't matter if it's scoped or not because this is in the scope. Oh, you know what? That's why. That was a good point. Thank you for pointing that out. It wasn't because it was scoped, even though I actually should be running these as scoped. It wasn't scoped. It's just I didn't define the language as SCSS. And if you notice down here, I've got these nested, so it was probably not reading that properly. So yeah, thank you for pointing that out. That really helped. So let's see what happens here, guys. So as soon as you hit that, yep, there we go. There we go. Now we're showing the correct answer in the in-between questions. So as soon as that times out, that goes to the next question. Fantastic. Again, thank you, Aslam Doctor. That was a good pointer there. All right. So yeah, so I've got the design pulled up to the side here, guys, and again, I'll show you the design. This is what we're going for right here. Got the question number right here, which this is kind of dangerous to do because it makes the users have to read it on the sideways, but I don't think it's that big a deal because you don't really need to. It's not vital information to the actual answering of the question. We'll go in 10 question spurts. I do need to comp or design instructions. Maybe I should actually pull this down to here. Nah, I like it up there. So I will have a screen that starts out explaining the instructions. Just from a user experience perspective, I want to make sure that they know what they're doing. So that it doesn't really affect them too much, or it doesn't really like confuse them, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Granted, so the timing of it, if you do 10 seconds and then 7 seconds in between each question, so that's 17 seconds each question, 17, so let's just say 20 seconds, easier math, 20 seconds times 10, so that's 200 seconds. 200 seconds is what? Not quite 4 minutes, but just over 3 minutes. So, if somebody comes in during that time in the middle of a trivia game, either they're going to get the idea of how you answer based on other people answering, or they're just not going to answer, which is fine because it's only a 3-minute trivia game. And then another one will get triggered, so half an hour later or 10 minutes later or whenever a mod wants to trigger a trivia game. But yeah. So I think that'll work pretty well. So that's what we're designing here today, guys. That's what we're working on, getting that design done. Again, guys, welcome to the Digital Fortress. I really do appreciate you guys joining us today. We're gonna go dungeoneering. Let's see. So yeah, so let's start up here at the top. We do have it already in a column, which is fine. Probably chances are I'll need to get rid of this because I don't actually want these to be in a column. In fact, let's go ahead and just move that outside of the, let's move it to its own section. And the problem here, okay, so I do have a external div, nested div. I don't remember if it's Angular or Vue does this as well, but because mostly I've worked in Angular recently, but it throws some errors, or it complains about it. There only need to be needing one nested child. I think it's a per template file. So I think I just did this just be cautious there. I don't let's check it out. I don't actually know if that's gonna throw an error or not. We'll see. Okay, so it is Vue. I couldn't remember if it was Angular or if it was Vue. The thing I like about Angular though is that Angular has all of their files split out a lot easier, and I don't know, when you're working on more of a complex app, it makes it more, I don't know, easier to manage things and keep things separate and keep track of things. Man, these warheads, I need to swallow them or spit them out or something. All right. We move that side of the section, which, to be fair, semantically, which this is not at all going to be semantic, but semantically needs to be in its own section as well, which technically this needs to be labeled main, I believe. In order for those sections to be working, which I don't think it matters either way, but right now, let's go ahead and just throw a class on there of, did I already add a section at the bottom? I did not. We'll call this trivia. Actually, guys, I don't see why we don't need, we can just move this stuff. Okay, and change this div to section. There we go. That should do it. All right, if we do that, that should, I mean, that really shouldn't change much in terms of what we're looking at. Just gonna throw it down here because now the columns aren't working. So now what we can do is we can come in and style this trivia box thing. So there's a couple ways that I like to style things when I'm working on stuff. Sometimes I know exactly what I'm going for, but for you guys, to help you guys visualize it, we're going to be working in the dev tools, and then we're going to go back and forth between that. So let me actually fix that real fast so that for you guys it's a little easier to see. Now that is full screen. We don't need it full screen. So let's go ahead and just shrink that down a little bit. We'll pull it off to the side here. Actually, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm actually gonna pull this off to this side for me here, and then just trying to make it easier for you guys to see. We'll do something like this, and that way you guys can see what I'm doing up here, and because it'll end up showing up in this corner up here. What I want to have happen is I want it to be pushed down a certain. I'm gonna make it 1920 by 1080, and because that's the only size that I'll ever have it on there, when I'm streaming, and then I will measure out this, push that down based on that height, and then we will start styling that box that's gonna sit down here. That's what we'll do. All right, so we already have most of the classes that we need. If we ever need to add more, we can just go back in and add more. Let's go ahead and throw a background. The tricky part here is going to be that angled view in the design. So again, if we go back to the design, look at it one more time. We've got a split here, and there's multiple ways that we could handle this, but you know what? What we'll do, I have another example of this somewhere else that I've done. I think we'll use like a polygon. Maybe we can do a gradient actually. Actually, that's not a bad idea. Let's do a gradient. Granted, that's not going to be supported in a lot of other places, but that's okay. I mean, it's not going to be terrible. So yeah, let's do a gradient, and I'm gonna I never hand code my gradients, just practice. So let's go take a look here. I don't really have time to hand code them, honestly. So let's see. If we do, I apologize, you're gonna hear me chewing on those warheads, trying to get them out of my mouth. Let's pull this over here. Get rid of this one. We honestly could just do a gradient. But if we just make this, let's see. So let's actually go back here and color pick these real fast. Let's see. That one needs to be that color. I think that's actually the color that needs to be on the other side, but let's see. These may be too dark for you guys to see, which is okay. I don't really. This is not the important part. So let's see. Let's put this at 48 and that at 48. All right. We got those both at 48. Okay. I think that's good. If we just copy this, come back over here to take one more look at that. And actually we were doing over the dev tools, so I do apologize. Let's hit that start trivia again. Come down here. Let's add that. So that's good. Now, I think we need to, before I forget, we need to angle this. So let's go ahead and do it at a 45 degree angle, I mean. Yeah, that looks about right. 45 degree angles, all you got to do is just put a 45 degree instead of a 90 degree here. So I'm just going to come back in here, remove that, set that to 45, and voila. Should have a 45 degree angle. Looking good so far, guys. Looking good so far. Let's see. What's next? We want to make sure that this is not... Well, part of the problem here is that the child elements are pushing the entire way out. I'm not entirely sure. Let's take a look at computed. Could be. So we have like a lot of things we have to reset because, again, we're using Bulma, and I probably shouldn't use Bulma, but I did want to have a front end like CSS framework to start on. So let's see. I think, is that already set to display? Let's see. A second here. Looking at some documentation over here, because I don't want to just make it work. So we probably need to change this to display inline. And the rest of these probably need to be display inline as well. That should have set it to, yep. Let's see. See what the rest of this is. Yeah. So all the headers need to be display inline. So that should be good. And then we've got, and that H1, that timer probably should not be an H1. So let's actually go fix that real fast. This timer should probably just be a paragraph. I don't know. I mean, it's a countdown. It's of its own, but it's for that specific thing. So I think I can make a case for doing a header for that, but we'll just make it a paragraph for now. Yeah, we'll change the question to an H1. We'll change this to an H2 because the category is the second most important thing. It basically falls under what question it is. Okay. And then we probably just need to make this a paragraph as well, just so it's not hanging out without any semantic tags. All right. How we doing here, guys, in chat? How's everybody doing? If you haven't heard already, welcome to the Digital Fortress. I do appreciate you guys joining us today. We're working on a Twitch trivia chat bot. We are getting close, guys. We are getting close. Let's take a look at this again here. What we'll do here, guys, is we will come down and we'll go back up. We'll make sure that this has a class of title, because that is the title. And then we will make sure this also has a class of title. Great. Let's see. Timer, which is in a P. That's great. It is a title as well. Well, we don't need it to be a title, but I do want it to have the title sizings and all the styles that apply to this tile. So what we could do is just call it timer. This is bad practice, so don't do this at home. Don't try this at home, guys. What we will do is we'll come down here to .timer, since that's above the other ones, but actually it's going to be below, so we'll take it down below. We'll take it to the last thing, because I don't want it to affect anything else really above it. And I'm trying to remember if we can do this here. We'll extend title as text weight bold. Again, guys, this is a terrible practice. Don't do this if you can get away with it. If you can help yourself not to do it. Oh, it's at extends. I'm sorry. Okay. And that did not work. Although it's not throwing an error. Why did that not work? Timer. Just make sure we called it actually timer. Yeah, that's a timer. Maybe the at extends doesn't work right now for some reason. I don't know. Anybody in chat have any ideas? Well, it doesn't matter. We can figure that out later. Guys, what I need to do here is I need to just define the body to have font family. I should have already done this somewhere else, but just in case. Oh crap, what was that again? Okay, I don't have that imported yet. I'm gonna go take a look at my... I need to find my type kit. Let's see. I'll have it pulled up here 1 second. Because I do have Adobe Creative Cloud, and I do use the fonts. Okay. Don't pay attention to that. I'm just kidding. You can look at it. I don't really care. If you end up using it, I'll probably end up canceling it if anybody ends up using it, which this probably needs to be in quotes. Not a huge deal either way. Okay, so if we come over to I think it was Futura. Let's see. Futura PT. Okay, so it's just Futura PT. Where's that at? Futura PT. Okay. that should set all of our fonts to Futura, which is one of my favorite fonts, by the way, guys. So we do that. Yeah, so you guys can already tell it looks much better. And let's just, I can already tell you that Q is Futura, but let's just go take a look at it here, guys. So we've got this, we've got body, which is font family of that. So if I toggle it, you can tell the difference there. Oops, just moved. There it is. Yeah, you guys can tell the difference there, which I prefer Futura. So, yeah, okay. So let's see. Let's come back over here, guys, and let's keep going. We don't need that to be title anymore. Let's see. Because that's not going to work. Let's go ahead and do font weight bold. Let's do font size. I believe that was 7 REMs. That's actually really big. I don't think it's quite 7 REMs. I think it was more like 5 REM, 4 REMs maybe. I can't remember what one is. Let's make it 5. I think 5 looks about right. Okay, so we've got next question in. So let's actually change next question to time left. I know I said I'd be working the dev tools mostly, and I probably will once I get to the actual styling of the box. But for now, we're gonna do find next question in, and we'll add another span here with a VF equals, you know what, actually, we should just do an else. I think it's VLs, I think. Yeah. VLs equals, we don't actually need to do, yeah. There we go. Let's see, time left. And we will call this one, make sure we do it under case. Go ahead and start trivia, see what's left. There we go. So time left, :8. Okay. And then we want to force that span to the next, which we could just do it with a BR, but we're not going to do that because yuck, BRs. Specifically a style thing. Oh, and then we will need to actually add a class to this, or we could just target it elsewhere, but back over here. How are we doing, guys? How's everybody doing? Thank you guys so much for joining us today. Welcome to the Digital Fortress. We are working our way through a chat bot right now. Trivia Twitch chat bot. We're working on styling. For those of you who are just joining us or who have been watching and are curious, here's our design. We've got, the category, we've got the question, we've got the answers, and then I still have to tie in the back end where when they answer with, oh, and I need to fix this in the design. I apologize. There we go. Which don't bank on any of these actually being a real question with the correct answers. I literally just grabbed whatever and made it up. So, but yeah, so we have the question number right here. We have how much time is left, which if you guys look over here, you can kind of see we have all of those elements on the page there. We just actually have to make it look like the design, which is something that I just came up with just a little bit ago. So yeah, so let's go ahead and jump back in here. I'm just making sure I have all my HTML in order before I continue with some of the design. Let's see. We'll call that count. And then down here, and you know what, guys? We don't really need all this JS right now. So I'm going to collapse this script just to make the scrolling a little bit faster and easier. I also have this thing called bookmarks, which I might actually end up using. Let's see if I can remember the commands. Nope, that was not it. Is it that one? 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 There we go. Control-Shift-K. I have so many different custom commands. So yeah. And then I think Control-Shift-L is go to the next one. So let's go down here. Since we're using SCSS, we can nest things, which is fantastic. That's one of my favorite things about SCSS. Don't get me wrong. I know PostCSS has nesting as well, but we're not going to get into that conversation right now. All right, we're going to call this count, and we're going to push it to the next line, which I believe is, we can do Can we do that with display block? I don't remember. Yeah. Okay, and then we're gonna actually go ahead and center these. Text align. Whoops, can't spell today. Okay, so we're aligning the timer. So what we're doing here, guys, is we're aligning everything that's in that timer. But the problem here is that this needs to be display inline. Oops, forget that semicolon there. All right, and that also needs to be display inline, I believe. Oh, no, that's display block. What? I think. You know what, guys? That doesn't matter. Let's get rid of that. Because, and I'll explain why here in a second. Because, guys, we are styling the container, which right now is stretching for the whole thing. Yeah, so what we need to do to solve this is like, come take a look at these. These actually should not be full. So we should probably be defining a container. Either we can define a container that is a certain size, which is I think what we need to do. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. So trivia box, which is what our container is. Let's bring it down here. Let's see. Don't need this CSS. We don't, well, let's push this stuff up. I need to make sure I rearrange all of this. Actually, let's pull this back up here. Oops. Had a extra tag there. There we go. Let's pull that back up there. Title, we wanted to get rid of anything that didn't have, so there's no margin on that. That's fine. That's a resetting thing. Reset the body. Okay. Let's just give ourselves a little extra space here. All of this, I don't know why I did this. Let's see. Why was that a direct child? That should just work just fine right there. Okay. And then we do that. I don't remember if there was a reason why I had that as a direct child or not. Because well, I guess it could target other ULs that are nested. I don't know. I don't really have much going on this page, so yeah. Hi, Hipstha. How are you doing? Thanks for reaching out and chatting here. So what we are working on today, and again, thanks for asking. We're working on a trivia chatbot. So if you take a look over here, right now we've got this going. We're using Nuxt.js for our front end. And it's basically going to pull in from a trivia API questions, 10 questions at a time. So the idea is that if I need to walk away from my stream or at any random time, a mod can trigger a trivia game. It starts a trivia game, pulls down the API, pulls down the trivia questions from the API, sets it up and runs it. And it's supposed to be an overlay that goes right above my head here. And the design for that looks like this. So you can kind of see a general idea of what this is going to end up looking like. You've got my little follower goal up there at the top, which, by the way, I hit my follower goal, which I actually need to reset that. I apologize. And then yeah, let's start a new goal there. We'll do whatever their default is. And I apologize. I'm going to go black here for a second while I refresh my follower goal. All right. So back over here, and it didn't refresh, but that's okay. So yeah, it'll come up at the top up with that follower goal, and then when a trivia game is started, this will kind of slide in and start with question 1, question 2. It'll do up to 10 questions with a timer, and then each person in the chat can do an answer, such as, which I have most of it set up. I just don't have it tied together yet. But you can do like an answer 1 through 4, whatever your answer is, which obviously you only do 1. You can do 1, 2, 3, or 4. And then it will basically store that, tally your scores. Right now I just have it responding with my bot that I have set up. And I think there is something going on with my, it shouldn't be throwing that. I think, yeah, there's something failed in here. Shouldn't be responding twice. But anyways, and then, yeah, so that's the gist of it. Supposed to tally up scores, and then hopefully at some point I would love to be able to tie into the channel points system, but as of right now, Twitch has not given us the ability to add channel points willy-nilly. So whether it's through the Twitch API or not, but yeah, that's the general idea right now. We're pretty close. Like, again, as you can see, I have most of it working. I'm just working on getting that design in, getting it styled, and kind of pull it to the side there. So hey, thanks for the follow there, Yui6969. Yeah, I really appreciate it. And guys, I know I don't have it in the title, but we are running a challenge right now. For every follow, I am eating a single warhead. I'll have to find a decent one. I have a whole jar of warheads here, and I apologize, my green screen's probably cutting it out, but let's find one that's not mashed inside, not gooey. There we go. All right, guys, so our lucky flavor of the day, or flavor of this follow, is lemon. And again, I know you guys can't see that, but... And as a count, this is number 6. Number 6 warhead today. I know, right? There you go, JR. All right, and again, thank you so much, Yui, for the follow. How you doing today? I do really appreciate you you following here. Thank you guys for chatting and keeping the chat alive there. Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and jump right in. Oh man, there's like, is that mold? I don't know. I don't know how old these are. Well, a little mold never hurt anybody, right? Here we go, guys. Yeah, so, wow. Oh man, that is not fantastic. Yeah, so more or less I'm in the final stages of the CSS. There's a couple more things that I have to finish hooking up. Yeah, I know. One of the things that I have to hook up is obviously the answers, tallying the answers and keeping track of the answers. We're taking it one piece at a time. You can see my Trello board that I've got going on over here. Some of these don't relate to trivia necessarily, but you can see something like what I have over here in the trivia thing. The stream objectives are what I'm currently working on, which I just completed the design comp for it. Hey, thanks G&D. I really appreciate it. Yeah, we're working our way through it. Our progress looks like this so far. We're mostly applying CSS right now, in the stages of applying CSS. You can see it has a timer, does shows the questions, which you can't see there. They are numbered, but because my list items are all screwed up right now, they're not showing up. You know what? Actually, that should be an ordered list. I'm not sure. I don't know. But yeah, you can see the question, which I'm mostly styling this. I'll show you the design here. This is what the design looks like. You can see, like, this is me. I'm a blockhead. You got my chat here, just the different elements from my stream overlay. So this is where I have long-reaching goals. Man, I apologize. I'm eating a warhead from a follow that I just got hit a little bit ago. I'm doing a challenge where I eat a warhead for every follow, for every follow. It is really sour. But yeah, so it's supposed to be just an overlay right now, and the responses are going to be in chat. So basically, the responders, and there will be instructions. I don't have them comped, but there will be, basically this box will pop up at the beginning of a trivia game with like the instructions of what the users or the players are supposed to be doing. And then in chat, they will answer just like that, which I have most of that tied up. I actually have to tally scores, so I have to tie it into tallying scores and storing that, which for the backend, if you're interested, I'm using Vuex. I'm not really storing it in any databases as of yet. I plan to integrate Firebase because it seems like it's the easiest and fastest route to go. But yeah, so That's the general idea. I do have some kind of bug happening where it's, responding with two messages, as you can see there. But yeah, so for right now, it's just going to be a chatbot, a simple chatbot with tied into an overlay. Um, but I do have plans to make it into an extension. However, I kind of have mixed feelings about extensions right now because um, I know there's a lot of extensions out there, and I know you can only have like an X amount of extensions. Um, so in the long run, once I get Firebase tied in, I also have plans for turning it into more of a system that people can, make an account, like sign up for and make an account for, using again Firebase for authentication and such. Um, but the problem with that is if it's an extension, then they're more likely going to want to use other extensions rather than this specific extension, since you're limited in the number of extensions you can have. So yeah, that's the general idea. We're getting there slowly but surely. Like I said, I'm just working my way through the CSS design right now. So, and I was explaining to, I think it was Hipstha, which again, thanks for asking. We're kind of in the final steps here. We're almost done. Honestly, I'm planning to have it done in stages where, I get the game to work. Then the next part is I get people to tally up their scores. Yes, as a streamer, I have a limit. So I'll look it up here real fast. I think, Twitch extension limits, I believe it's like 3. Let's see. I think it's like 3 panel extensions. You can have 3 panel extensions. You can have 2 component extensions, and I think you can have 1 overlay extension, or that might be flipped. Maybe 1 component extension and 2 overlay extensions. I'm not entirely sure. But either way, I mean, because they limit how many extensions any given streamer can have. It's kind of frustrating, but it is what it is. I was also explaining this a little bit ago, but I would also really love to tie it into channel points. Twitch is like native affiliate and partner program channel points, but Twitch doesn't give us the ability to give out channel points for anything in particular. It has to be their set specific rules, which is a little bit frustrating. Unless something's changed recently, but that's the last I read on there. Yeah, I know, and that is it. I might do it just for the heck of it. I might just still make an extension just for the heck of it, but it does kind of, at least again, that's my understanding. Maybe something changed extensions wise, and who knows, maybe it could be that once you hit affiliate and partner, you don't have that restriction anymore. I don't really know for sure. Yeah, I'm gonna have to have a separate chatbot. Well, yeah, I was already planning on doing. See, the thing is, here's the crazy thing is I'd already thought of like, what, this would be really cool to do my own, channel points, and then I found out that Streamlabs has their whole system of channel points and stuff, or loyalty points, I guess is what they're called, and I was kind of like, okay, yeah, I guess my thoughts aren't so original, but it is what it is. So do you do development? I'm assuming, since you're talking about having dreams of making an extension. Oh yeah. So what do you are you using, like, I don't know, like Swift, or I guess Java is for Android, but is it for like mobile app development, or is it for like desktop app? Oh, Flutter. Okay. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I haven't actually used Flutter. It's on my bucket list. I wanna work with Flutter. I've heard it's fun. I've heard it's fun to use. I've also heard it can be a pain in the neck, as far as like when you're actually deploying. But that was probably a year ago when I last explored. So. Oh yeah. No, I get that. See, I'm more of kind of a web developer. I started out front end. Now I'm like kind of full stack right now. which I guess you don't really ever come back from. uh, yeah, I have done a couple of mobile apps, but they've all been using Cordova or Capacitor, based out of built on Angular. So it's kind of more like, you build a web app and then you package it up with Cordova or Capacitor, using Ionic as well. And then yeah, it's been kind of fun. Oh yeah, uh, all the way. I love front end. Front end is my go-to. Unfortunately, with my job, um, I really wanted to focus on front end. I'm a web developer at an advertising agency currently, but when they found out that I could also pretty much handle just about anything they could throw at me, um, honestly, not trying to brag or anything, but they promoted me into a position that I no longer get to do a ton of actual front end work, which is it's a huge bummer because I love front end work, but now I mostly just like delegate all the easier stuff. Well, I say easier stuff. Front end isn't necessarily easier than back end. In fact, I had somebody in here earlier who was specifically saying they thought front end was way harder than the back end. But which I'm not going to argue with. But yeah. So it is unfortunate though when you move into full stack position, you don't get those opportunities as much. But it is what it is. I mean, I do love the refresh, like having a refreshing change of pace when I switch to something else other than front end. Oh yeah, yeah. Laravel's fun. I've used Laravel a couple times in a couple different scenarios, but mostly with Laravel, I've only ever worked with projects that have already existed, and you go in and then you have to like work your way through learning how somebody else set it all up and stuff, and their way of doing it. But you used to do front stack and now front end only. And welcome to the stream, Broco Dev. I do appreciate you joining us here today. Yeah. So, how did you manage that? How did you manage going back to front end only? Like that is something that I think I want to do, but at the same time, I don't really want to take a pay cut, and I don't know if that's necessarily true that I'd have to take a pay cut to go back to front end only, but it also would mean that I'm not managing as much, which definitely would be a pay cut, or team leading, I guess. Not really managing, but team leading. Yeah, that is kind of true, Hipsta. Yeah, I totally get that. Oh, really? Really? Okay, so I have actually really truly grown to love Angular, and Angular is fantastic. Like, I know there's a lot of people that hate on it, but I feel like it is really a truly powerful language that, yeah. Hey, thanks for the follow, Hips. Oh man, I forgot. We are doing a challenge where every follow we get, we eat a warhead. I'm up to 6 warheads. Last time I did this, I ate 15 warheads and I regretted it the next day. So we will see if I regret this time. All right. What do we got here, guys? We have, and I'll let you choose this time. Let's see. We've got blue raspberry, we've got lemon, black cherry, and apple. Choose one of those flavors today. Oh yeah, the Google Developer Experience. Okay. Very nice, Brocco. Yeah, no, that is fantastic. Again, I love Angular. I've grown to love Angular. It has a few quirks that kind of bother me sometimes, but really recently I've been trying to wrap my mind through. Well, I feel like I have a pretty good grasp on it at this point, but RxJS, which is I know is not necessarily 100% only Angular, but I know it gets used a lot with Angular. All right. Before I forget, I'm gonna go ahead and jump in and eat. Oh yeah, yeah. Get going with all those observables, behavior subjects, and whatnot. Good stuff, man. So actually, this is something interesting. Before I eat this, because I won't be able to talk for 1 minute after I eat this. Um, I haven't really had much experience with WebSockets until recently. I just sat down and it's been something that's been on my bucket list for a long time. And I finally was like, okay, you know what? I got to sit down and do it. Fortunately, my company, they give us like this we have a billable amount of time that we can build towards professional development, which is fantastic. I love my company for that. And so I sat down and decided that I was going to learn WebSockets. And I sat down and pumped my way through it. Not really using a whole ton of libraries for it or anything, but just the typical WS for the server side. I didn't really want to get too much. I mean, I didn't want to rely too much on like Socket.io and stuff like that. But anyways, and I was using it with Nuxt.js for the front end, but I can definitely see how well that could tie into um, working with like RxJS. I think that would work pretty well. Mostly, we've been just working with REST endpoints or observables and such, which ends up being quite a few calls when you're doing, you know, um, app development. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and eat this. Yeah, here we go. So this one I believe is blue raspberry. Yeah, no, I was so thrilled about how well sockets worked. Like I was just like, this is fantastic. Um, and the fact that you can like open multiple sockets, oh, it's just so cool. Just such cool stuff. It's so much faster too. But anyways, here we go, guys. Blue raspberry. Here we go. Mm. I know I'm gonna regret this in the morning. I usually wait about 20 seconds just to get the full effect. Mm. All right. Is it worth it though? Is it really worth it? The last time I ate 15 warheads in one night, my cheeks were like shredded. Not a fun activity. Not a fun activity. Anyways, again, Hipsa, thank you so much for the follow there. Um, yeah, and going back to your comment there, I totally, yeah, I get that. Most companies do that. Um, Fortunately, my company has, oh, I don't even know, we have probably about 20 to 30 developers. So we're not like a tiny company, but we're also not like super huge or anything. Um, and yeah, it's fun to work with a slew of different developers. I think we have a couple full stack developers, but most of the developers, and I say that meaning pretty much every developer can do just about anything there. So I guess in that way they're technically full stack, but a lot of them have like what they focus on only. Um, so it kind of works out pretty well. Yeah, I know we're one of the largest in our area, or in our region. We're based out of Indiana. Um, but yeah, it's been fantastic. We've definitely grown in the last couple years. We've hired like, I don't even know, like 6 new developers during the quarantine, which is insane. But I guess companies, man, I'm having a hard time talking because I'm like having like saliva like dribbling down my face or something. Um, but yeah, no, we hired 6 developers, and I guess people still need advertising because it's an advertising agency. But people still need advertising and new websites and stuff like that during COVID. I guess doesn't go away. Okay, sunflower seeds, Bracco. I totally get that because I do it all the time to my mouth. Only the thing is, I've gotten to the point where I'm old enough where I realize what's happening and I'm able to stop. Only barely though. Like sometimes sometimes I won't realize and I just go through a bag and just like shred my mouth. But no, I totally get that. I love sunflower seeds. Again, guys, thank you so much for those of you who are new here. Welcome, welcome to the Digital Dungeon. We are working our way through some of this design stuff that I got going on here. We're using Nuxt.js as our front end. Oh yeah, started a healthy journey. Haven't touched them recently. That's good. Glad to hear that that's working out for you, or I hope it's working out for you. My wife has been recently doing like a high protein diet, which is high protein diets, I guess, kind of wreck your system a little bit. So she's been a champ at doing that. It's fantastic. So yeah, this is just a comp right now. 7 seconds here. Really, kind of the general user experience that I've kind of felt through has been 10 seconds. 10 seconds kind of, yeah, 10 seconds has kind of been the gist for amount of time for answering the question. Maybe I might push it a little bit to 12 seconds, but then I think it's going to be 7 seconds in between questions. So again, this is just the comp. This is what I just threw in here for the comp to make it look like, hey, this is in the middle of a question or whatever. Yeah, 10 does feel like that. Yeah, Angular and Ionic. Yeah, no, I do love Angular and Ionic. I'm actually currently working on a project for work, and I can't really disclose too much information about it, but it is for an RV company, which is pretty awesome. Yeah, and we're getting ready to put out a new app for them. So it's been quite a journey. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, a food diary. That's interesting. What all does that entail, Rocco? I'm assuming if he's talking about Angular and Ionic, it's gonna be. I mean, it's a web app that's wrapped in. Well, actually, that is a good question, but I'm assuming if it's using Ionic, it's going to be wrapped in Cordova or Capacitor, probably. I don't know that for sure, or packaged, I guess, packaged with, not really wrapped in. We the previous app that I built using Angular and Ionic was it was using Cordova, but then we actually just switched to Capacitor because we feel like Capacitor for the new one that we're building, because we feel like Capacitor is getting there. It's getting there. There's still a couple of quirks and things that it's missing, features that it's missing that Cordova has. But the nice thing about Capacitor is that I think it does have backwards compatibility with quite a few Cordova plugins. Future phases will have shareable recipes and suggestions of healthy options at different restaurants. Okay. That sounds like an app that's definitely needed. That's really cool. Fantastic. Cool stuff, man. So is that like a personal project you're working on? Or is that for your company? No, I totally get that. And that's the amazing thing. That's the fun thing about doing like being a developer is that quite often the things that I develop in my personal time are things that I'm going to use. Case in point, this trivia app. So I have 2 kids. So I have a family. I have 2 kids and a wife. And sometimes, and actually, as happened earlier, I have to step away for 5 minutes or a couple minutes or whatever. But I don't really want to stop my stream because I'm in the middle of doing something. But if I need to step away and help with something, or take care of one of my kids or whatever, I wanted the ability to start up a trivia game, which is kind of what this is about. Something to keep the viewers engaged, but also with the ability to just trigger it while I'm doing whatever, so that I don't really have to pay too close attention to it, or I could engage with it as well, and it just kind of does its thing, goes on, and runs its course, keeps track of points, and then eventually I want to tie those points into some kind of system where they get different things, like similar to how Streamlabs has their loyalty points or whatever. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. If you could get like a contract with your nutritionist or something, that would be fantastic. So this UI is being built with Nuxt.js. I assume you're talking to me. I've had a little bit of experience with Nuxt.js, but I kind of wanted to deep dive into it a little bit more. Yeah. I actually don't have a ton of experience with React, and I'm a little scared to jump into it. It's on my bucket list, but I just don't know if it's going to be something that, because I've from my beginning initial research into it, I feel like I'm going to have to relearn quite a bit of how I think about web apps, and how they're made in the first place. So, which honestly might be for the better. I'm not denying that at all. I'm just not looking forward to a change of thinking at this moment. But that will definitely change once I get a little bit more free time, probably. Yeah, port 3000. I think Nuxt just defaults to 3000. Yeah. I actually, if you're interested, I actually created, and this was my little side project with WebSockets. I created a little overlay for my stream, which I will go ahead and pull that up. So if I go to, unfortunately, it's running on the same instance as this Nuxt trivia bot currently. But if I come over to here and I turn on my objectives, and then let's come back over here. All right, so, and it actually might not be working properly. So yeah, there's something. Let's see, remove user style. Something's got an issue there, but so it's not actually working. But I have it integrated with Trello, where and there again there's some errors. I think their errors are more so due to the trivia side of things, but basically it pulls up a little sidebar up in the top left corner of my screen up here, like, or I guess that direction, way over there, top left, not top right, and it shows these cards basically just as they are, and it's using WebSockets with the trivia webhooks, or not trivia, Trello API webhooks that hit my endpoint, which has a WebSocket open, and sends that data back to the browser, which again, I don't know if this is working or not, and maybe I just needed to refresh it, but yeah, see there it's working. So it looks like that, and then you know what? I think I just need to refresh it. So here, let me just refresh that real fast. Come back over here, refresh. There we go. Okay, so that's showing up. So yeah, check this out. So if I come back over here, you can see my stream objectives there, and then as I move them, okay, that did not work. Yeah, I think there probably is some error in there. Let's take a look here. No, maybe not. It should have worked. Okay, there we go. For some reason, it's working now. I don't know what's going on with that. I think maybe I messed up something with the, there might be something that's, I don't know, but it's supposed to basically update that real time as I move them over. But I think there's something wrong with on my server side. No, I mean, it's just a browser source, so it's outputting a page just like you see right here. And that page is basically just a transparent background here with that. It doesn't really need OBS for anything. You could put it into Streamlabs, but I mean, it in the fact that it needs a stream client as an overlay. Yeah. Oh, sorry, I just chomped down on a warhead. Yeah, I try to keep my thoughts as organized as possible. This is actually, to me, this is actually really messy right now. I still need to go through and organize some of this. What I was currently working on, you kind of see my front end page for trivia. What I was working on was just kind of working my way down this list, which I'm actually in the process. I just finished design comping it today, and then I'm going to work through styling those questions. And then my next thing was to store answers from chat, which isn't really a front end page thing, but at the same time, it kind of is, because it has to do with displaying who answered correctly. So, and then, yeah, these are just kind of like the order of how things are going. Yeah, I do need to fix that bug now that I think about it. Oh, yeah? Yeah, no, I get that. And I actually watched quite a few videos about people making recommendations for streams. And you know, as a small streamer, things that you should do and things that you should not be doing. And yeah, this seemed to be like one of the biggest things they said was to have a plan. And while you can still go off the rails and, you know, do whatever you want to do at random times, if you have like a clear starting, you have objectives that you're going to hit, and then everything in the middle, that way when new people come in, you can, you know, refresh the objectives, you know, say, hey, you know, this is what my objectives are or whatever. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm going for. But yeah, that's the gist of where I'm at right now, working my way through it. Yeah, I gotcha, and I do understand that, you know, that a lot of times that advice is kind of geared towards, you know, getting big or, you know, making money or whatever. But I just kind of want to develop a community. I don't really necessarily want to get big like on Twitch or anything like that. I love having people to be able to talk to, just like you guys right here. Yeah, I get that. I get that. But to be honest, though, it kind of goes hand in hand with workflow for development. So specifically with working on, you know, Trello organization, you know, having a beginning, a middle, and an end. That seemed like something that I should grasp onto, because that's how I like to organize my actual work anyways, is, you know, hey, this is what I'm going to accomplish for the day. It's kind of what makes me somewhat of an effective, I say somewhat, but somewhat of an effective team leader, project leader back at work, is I have a clear idea of where we need to go, where we need to get to, and how to get there. And then once we get there, restart, do the next thing. Yeah. Don't, yeah, exactly. Yep. And true to form, HTML new component style there. Yeah, well, there you go. Well, hey, thanks for stopping by, man. I really appreciate it. Yeah. No, I like to keep it pretty chill here. If there's anything you guys have suggestions about, I am way open to suggestions on stuff. A lot of this stuff is just stuff that I think about during the day, and I just jot down my ideas in a Google Doc, and then I transfer it over into what I actually want to do. You can see some of my ideas over here actually are a little, some of them are a different take on certain things that already exist, but just based on things that I would probably end up using. Okay, all right. I promise I won't eat another warhead. Actually, thank you, because my cheeks are starting to get that little, you know, that little scaly feeling when you have too much like citric acid in your mouth or whatever, which means they're probably going to be shredded tomorrow. So yeah. I will not eat any more warheads tonight. I don't think I was planning on it. I have a whole section. Oh, thank you so much for the follow. I have a whole bunch of warheads that I don't want to eat tonight. In fact, speaking of, I'm gonna drink some water. Oh, thank you also for the follow, GND. Oh, good. You know what? I need to think of something else to do instead of warheads. The only thing is I have this whole jar of warheads that I need to do something with. Maybe I'll feed them to my kids or something. That's not a good idea. I'm not gonna do that. But yeah, so let's see. I don't remember where we were at, which is I guess why we have this fellow. All right, silent questions. That's right. We were in the middle of getting some CSS stuff going here. Let's see. No, I really do appreciate you guys chatting though. It's been fun. It's always nice to have you guys have you guys support and chat, you know. And honestly, it's just really nice to be able to share stuff with people, you know. Bounce ideas back and forth. A duck race overlay. Huh. Like, is it like an extension that way they can interact with it, or is it just, you know, you like a chat bot where you start it with a command? Oh, okay. I gotcha. Yeah, I mean the thing is the cap on extensions is not, I don't think it's enough to stop me from making an extension, just because simply I'll probably end up using it. And honestly, if I'm the only one who uses it, hey, I've got the corner on the market, you know? Like, oh, that's kind of cool. So he starts it and then, yeah, okay. Yeah. I'm using tmi.js to kind of handle this stuff. Some of the stuff I've actually moved off into I moved this into JS, I think, but anyways, or a JSON file. But I've got these commands. I was kind of following a tutorial and then kind of took my own take on it. You can kind of see where I'm going with the idea of it. Hey, thanks for joining us, JR Gaming. I really appreciate it. Hey, yeah, appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for the support. Yeah, it's been a good time. It's been a good time. Hope you guys have had as much fun as I have. One thing that I knew I needed to implement was this this mod property here. I think I'm gonna rework how some of this works here. The only problem is that I wanted to actually take these commands and take them into JSON, which I think you can still do as these functions as a string, these callback functions. I think, is that, I don't know if that sounds really safe though. I don't know, maybe I'll just leave it in the JS file. I would love to take it and turn it into something where you can add your own custom commands, similar to like Nightbot, but I don't want to replace Nightbot or, you know, Cloudbot, I guess is what Streamlabs has. Hey, thanks, Derek. We'll see you next time. All right, sorry about that. Yeah, so right now I've just turned off categories or like setting a category from being mod, because I just wanted other people to kind of test it. But I want only mods to be able to change what categories it's in. Right now I'm pulling from, oh, I don't even remember what this API is called. We can go look it up real fast. Let's see. I believe it's under trivia. Is it a trivia plugin? Yeah, okay, here we go. Yeah, we'll just pull this up here. So I've got this random guy doing, oh no, let's see. Let's do questions here. Okay, so that's just returning. I don't remember the exact website that he has for it, but this is just his API for it. Maybe it's just trivia. I don't remember. It's but anyways, it pulls in like any number of questions and I'm using his specific API because he has multiple choice with them, which is really, really nice. You can kind of see the JSON format that I'm getting back here. I had to do a little bit of magic to make it combine, to cut it down to four questions. So taking 3 random ones from incorrect answers, and then adding the correct answer to it in order to come up with choices. So yeah, that's kind of the gist of what I'm doing there. Yeah, no, so I agree with that. I agree with replacing Nightbot, but at the same time, yeah, it seems like a giant undertaking, and maybe at some point that'll become, the case, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Is Nightbot open source? Is that what you're asking? Or are you talking about the Trivia API? So I don't know if Nightbot is. I could be wrong. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's actually a good question. Let me go check. I don't know. I guess Google's my best friend here. It looks kind of like it is. I don't really know. It's not really saying. Oh, I guess I need to that up. Hey, Brocco, thank you so much for dropping by. Yeah, totally. I would totally love to talk more Angular with you. Yeah, that's one of my problems here with Nuxt.js is that like I'm currently working in Angular at work, and so I quite often find myself, it's similar enough that I find myself doing things that don't work in Vue because they're strictly Angular related things. So yeah, no, so totally, I totally love to discuss some more Angular stuff with you. Yeah, no, I don't know if there's any of the other ones that are open source as well. So I don't know. I don't know. I'd have to dig into that a little bit more. Um, but yeah. Do any of you guys use the gradient generators for when you do front end gradients? I never. It should be simple enough, but I never make my own gradients. It's just I don't know. It's just a habit. There's no reason to when you can just generate them a lot easier. Um, Speaking of, I need to actually pull this in. How do I? Oh, copy the clipboard. There we go. Let's see. That. What? Did I not add the trivia box? Oh, I was cleaning up the I was cleaning up the CSS. That's what I was doing. Okay, and let's do that. Should give us a once we hit start here. Yeah, okay, so that gives us a pretty good thing there. I think I was gonna set a max width on this section. Guess it doesn't really matter because it's just going to be a stream overlay, and it's always going to be at, well, hopefully it's going to always be at 1920 by 1080, but yeah, I know that they use, I'm pretty sure for the most part they use What's it called? TMI.js. It's what I'm using, actually. I don't know if there's anything else that they're using beyond that, but and you probably already know this, but TMI.js is, I don't know if it's actually a Twitch, official Twitch. I don't know who manages this repo, but I know it uses the IRC, Twitch's chat. So I don't, yeah, I guess it's not really managed by Twitch. So I guess it's not really Twitch specifically, but it's what I've seen most people use. It's actually really fairly simple to use. I don't know if this is what you're talking about as far as a common library, but I know under the hood, this is one of the things that I know for a fact Nightbot uses this, as well as, I'm sure CloudBot does, like Streamlabs bot or whatever. Yeah. Let's see. So if we let's just set a hard set width of, let's do 500 pixels. I don't really know if I have to feel it out. That looks a little too big, so it's probably like 450. Yeah, 400 seems about right. And then the time left needs to go to the bottom. So this whole timer thing, and actually, this can be a div, and these can be, I want to be semantic, but at the same time, I don't really care, because it's not like it's actually going to get any SEO stuff. So yeah, no, so it is using TMI.js. Again, I don't know if there's another framework that they're using on around that or something. But TMI.js is kind of the standard go-to for integrating simply. So yeah. Let's grab that comment there as well. Okay. Come back down here. We've got that. Let's throw it at the bottom down there, so it's still inside of the trivia box. Hit start trivia. Boom, that's at the bottom. That's what we wanted. Next question is in. So that is a problem that I need to clear the interval when the start trivia button is fired, or when the trivia thing is fired. So maybe in the start, let's see. How am I going to do that? Because I have to store it. Let's expand that script again. You know what? I could store it as a data property. Oh, wait a minute. Am I already doing that? This dot interval. A lot of data properties here that I don't necessarily really need. Where am I using interval? Am I using interval somewhere else? Like this dot interval? I guess not. So I guess we can make this dot interval. And I turned off quite a bit of TypeScript stuff because I got tired of it, but at the same time, like that throws up a lot of warning flags. I understand, because when you throw up warning flags, or when you turn off TypeScript, it just means you're trying to get around using TypeScript, basically. So I guess I just need to set that to null, because that will end up being null. I believe that's what a clear interval does. So yeah, I think do that. If we hit start timer again, we need to make sure that we clear this dot interval on the start trivia. If this dot interval, clear interval, I think this should solve it. Maybe. If the answer part isn't part of the options, how do they keep the answer random? The answer isn't part of the options. What do you mean in the API? That's the JSON that's returned to me? So I'll show you what the JSON, or what the actual data looks like here. right here. I actually have this little helper div that I have here. So let's hit start trivia, and you can kind of see down here. So basically what it's returning, and actually it might be even easier if I just looked up the thing, but it doesn't matter. Oh, so how do I do it? So yeah, so they're basically giving me incorrect answers, and then they're giving me the correct answer, which is right here. They're giving me two different items or properties inside of that object. And then what I'm doing is I'm mixing it up myself. So I come in and let's see. Let's see. It's under prepare trivia, which I have as I think a plugin. Let's go take a look at that plugin here real fast. So here, yeah, I've got a an actual object trivia. I'm getting the trivia right here, and then down here I'm preparing the trivia. Basically this is what I'm doing right here is I am running get choices, which is right here. So I'm passing in the incorrect answers. So the ones that let's see, I'm passing in all of the incorrect answers and the only correct answer. The problem was that I needed to have only 4. I only wanted to do 4 multiple choices, but some of these do more than 4 incorrect answers, so I had to trim it down. So I started here. I sliced out just kind of the first 3, and then I shuffled. I ran this dot shuffle, which I know these are all kind of chained things, but I like to keep them kind of separated out. And actually, for readability, I'm just going to keep a space there. Now that I think about it. So basically then I'm taking the current index, which is the array.length, yeah, and just kind of running this function here. You can probably read it yourself, but yeah, and then I'm just initiating random index, yeah, and running through while it's not equal 0, just kind of working my way through it. Setting it to a random index is basically what's happening here, based on math.random, for however many there are. That's the gist of it. And to be honest, I think I took this and modified it from somewhere else. This whole function here. So yeah. The gist of it. And then I'm turning around and returning it. Obviously, returning it here. These two could have been combined, but it is what it is. So anyways. Yeah, I'll go back to that real fast. So you're not sure you follow in the end. Are the options and answers kept separately? How does the check for correct work if it's mixed in? Okay, so basically all I'm doing with that, and I just figured the easiest way to do it would be to add to that. If you take a look here, this is strictly the trivia that is, oh, actually, no, sorry. This is not just the trivia that they're sending to me. So if you take a look at it a little closer here, there's the incorrect answers. There's the, sorry. We'll wait for the next question to fire. Okay, so here's the correct answer. Here's the incorrect answers. So I take and mix those together, and I throw it into the object there with choices. So I'm basically just throwing a thing, and I'm just looping through that while I'm still keeping intact inside of that inside of the template, the script for that view component / page, which ones the incorrect answers are versus which ones the correct answer is. And then all I do is just pass in, like, I just, for now, yeah, for now I'm just displaying what the correct answer is. But I will, down here, I have this huge mess of code that I need to clean up. And it's basically running under start trivia, and it sets an interval for 1 second. So every second right there, it just keeps looping. And that's where you get the timer. And then once that, so then I have two main sections here. I've got this one and this one. So if questions, actually, yeah, so basically I check first of all if there's any questions remaining, then I clear the interval. And then inside, if there are questions that remain, basically if questions remaining is greater than 0, I check to see if the timer is still greater than 0. And if it is, then I just keep ticking down the timer until it gets to 0. Once it hits 0, it performs this bit of code right here, which is basically just toggling in between questions, which means it's showing the answer. I should have called it show answer, but at the time I was just calling it in between questions. So this is the phase where it shows questions right here, or shows the answers right there. And this is the phase that it is not. It's just showing the actual question. Or I'm sorry. No, this is during the phase when it switches from being in the, it toggles basically right here to when you're in between questions versus when you're not. So somewhere in here, I'll end up tallying the score. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so it's still there. The actual answer is there. And all I'm doing here is I'm actually, so if you actually look at the CSS here, if I pull this up, I apologize, I don't have my, 1 second here, let me make sure you guys are seeing what I'm seeing. So if you take a look at this, you'll actually notice this one has a class of answer on it. So these are the different list items. And I'm actually just in the code putting a CSS class on it. And then I'm adding only once I trigger the visible, let's see, I know it's really small for you guys to see. So we'll wait for, let's see, start trivia again. And I'll actually increase the size of this so you guys can see it a little easier. Hopefully that's a little better for you to see, but let's see. So we've got this section here. If I expand this section and expand the trivia question, or expand this, let's see, this is the ordered list. So you'll see that it doesn't have visible answer, or it does have visible answer right here. See how that class got removed there? Hard-coded the answer. What do you mean, like into the options? Oh, you mean like, oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, because this is Nuxt.js and this is Vue, like it's easier just to kind of keep track of it. Because remember, this is all within an object, so these properties are still happening. These properties are still live and they're being reactive, so I can change these at will or whatever. So basically the active question gets set to that object, which is over here. So basically it's set to this entire object right here. So that's the entire object that question gets set to. And then up here, so I'm able to keep track of it that way based on the active question. But then up here, I toggle visible question based on whether or not the state is in between questions. And I remember I'm toggling that as a true or false based on when that timer triggers. And then here, I'm just putting a class of answer on whatever the correct answer is. So if the correct answer equals what the choice is, when I'm looping through each of those, then I'm just adding an answer class to it. And then once that timer is up, I add a transition effect over here. And I just transition and add, like on the answer class, it gets a green, the rest of them get red. Yeah, I mean, that is basically what I'm doing, more or less, yeah. That's pretty much exactly what I'm doing, just with slightly different, no. Let me expand that a little bit. That's essentially what I'm doing, just less cleanly. So yeah, well, hey, I'm actually gonna have to jump off for the night. I do appreciate you guys joining us. Getting a little late in the evening. Yeah, it does kind of get to that point where you do have to, you do end up kind of making its own, you know, it honestly, it kind of is that way. It's just, again, a lot messier, but yeah, it does get messy as you keep working. And hopefully at some point, the thing is, I just wanted to get it, I want to get it to work. Once I get it to work, then I can clean up it to my heart's content. They store without the duplicate. What does that mean? What do you mean by store? Because I'm like, are you talking about Vuex store? I'm not actually putting it into Vuex store, I believe. Oh, yeah. I'm not actually storing anything in JSON files. Well, I take that back. The only thing that I am storing in JSON files, which I'm using Nuxt content, is the categories, the category head names, which don't get returned to me in any shape or fashion through the API. When I want to toggle, so basically my call to grab that looks like this right here, and I have to pass in categories as part of the string to the API, as part of a query parameter, and I want to be able to toggle those. So I have a under TMI.js, which is basically my entire chat functionality file. It's a plugin that or a middleware actually. So this gets run before the page loads, before that route loads. And then you can see right here I have a category. So you could actually do it right now, where if you type in !category food, it kind of triggers. It should have set food current cat. That's a bug that I have to chase down, but it should have set food to be food and drink as a current category. So you should be able to toggle a whole bunch of them, and I'm storing that in store. But I have to have those names in the first place in a JSON file. Yeah, the rest of the trivia questions, I'm not actually storing them in JSON. I am literally pulling them in from the API and serving them immediately. So yeah, that's the gist of how that works. So, but anyways, yeah, guys, I do really appreciate you guys joining us today. We made a lot of progress today. I got that design done, which I was very happy with. Yeah, I'm glad it did. It's something I've been working on not for very long, just maybe like a week or two. But I'm getting really close, and it's something that I really do wanna end up using. So yeah, it has really been fun, and it's been fun mostly because of you guys. So I have had a blast. So again, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it, and we really hope to see you next time. So you guys take care.